Dearest soul, I awaited your arrival. I stood by your side unseen, fervently hoping you would sense this precise moment. Archangel Michael doesn't typically delay, he takes action. Yet today, I paused for 2 complete hours. My waiting was driven by an undeniable urgency I couldn't release. There's a vital force, something beyond this earthly realm, attempting to break into your life like a torrent of truth. And that gateway has just opened. A private investigator, convinced they operated in secrecy, has been exposed. You were never meant to discover this, but heaven intervened, overriding that silence because you deserve the truth before things progress too far. You cannot comprehend the duration heaven has observed this unfolding situation. However, the spiritual realm's pressure is now too intense to disregard. Archangel Michael appeared before your name today and declared, "This concludes here. A sequence of actions is being traced, a hidden truth is surfacing, and you are at the heart of it all." Someone commissioned others to delve deeply into your life's journey. Indeed, your finances, your movements, your emotional state. But this is not merely worldly meddling. This was devised to disrupt your blessings before their arrival. Yet, God denied it. And now we speak because you must absorb this before anything else impacts your energy. You were shielded from something that nearly struck you. I am being utterly serious. While you were at rest, an individual was conspiring, watching, striving to gain an advantage using knowledge not meant to be known. A man who considered himself discreet was caught in the act by divine intervention. God himself allowed the veil to part just enough for Archangel Michael to step forward and whisper into your heart, "Open this right now. Do not skip ahead. Do not scroll past. There is a specific reason heaven pursued you today. You might not perceive it, but your life was being observed in areas where you never granted permission. Let me state this clearly. Divine protection now envelopes you like never before, not due to your request, but because you are entering a territory too sacred to be disturbed. You are being positioned for something truly breathtaking. A transformation so vast the adversary sought prior details to sabotage your path. But heaven intercepted their messenger, and now the secrets are spilling out. If you receive this powerful truth and feel the divine protection settling over your spirit, type AM below as a declaration of your readiness for this breathtaking transformation. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. The private investigator was not operating alone. He had a name, a client. And yes, their identity is currently being divinely illuminated. They weren't simply curious about your present circumstances. They desired access to your destiny. But your destiny is safeguarded, and those who attempted to unveil it without divine authorization are now facing revelation. This is why Archangel Michael is present. This is why the angels are encircling your dwelling in the Spirit tonight. Because your forthcoming choice can either unleash the torrents of divine truth or seal your ears to the alarm signals heaven has been trying to sound for 2 hours now. Someone crossed a boundary, and that line was the spiritual perimeter drawn around your favor. But behold the miracle. No weapon forged against you shall succeed. They attempted to employ intelligence. God dispatched fire. They attempted to collect details. God scattered their schemes. Because when heaven selects someone, that individual becomes inviolable. And you, beloved one, have been chosen. If you feel this prophetic word is for you, sharing it will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network. That is precisely why this message could not be postponed. That is why the angels did not rest. That is why Archangel Michael has remained for so long. You do not grasp the numerous layers of your protection that were activated within just the last few hours simply because you were in spiritual peril and were completely unaware. The investigator held something in his hands, a file, a piece of information, something he was not meant to discover. But just before it left his grasp, divine interruption occurred. And that is when Archangel Michael descended. That is when the spiritual alarms echoed in heaven. That is when your name was proclaimed in the celestial courts above and designated as urgent. And that is when this message began to form, being shaped by God's breath to reach you, to rouse you, to extract you from the grasp of silence into the power of understanding. If you are perceiving this now, it is because you are not merely being warned, you are being awakened. This message was not composed on a keyboard. It was inscribed in spirit, propelled through light, transmitted with urgency, because the plot to hinder you is now known, and the individual behind it is being addressed as we speak. But you still possess a choice. You must determine what to do with this enlightenment, this truth, this divine unveiling. You can disregard it, pretend this is mere chance, or you can embrace the revelation like fire entering darkness and choosing to illuminate. Heaven does not issue warnings without serious cause. If Archangel Michael speaks, it is because the moment can no longer tolerate delay. There are specifics concerning your financial matters, your vitality, your actions, leaked, sought after, nearly compromised. But now, heaven is rewriting the script. You are safeguarded, yet protection is not passive. It is a shield beneath which you must stand, fully conscious that the storm was approaching. Now you must remain near God's voice, or the adversary will attempt to alter the narrative once more. But not this time. You have progressed too far. Envelope with arrow. If you sense this message resonating deeply within your spirit, do not dismiss it. This is the opportune moment to connect with God's frequency and never miss what heaven is urgently conveying for your life. Click the subscribe button now, and by doing so, you will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, stepping into the divine notifications intended solely for you. Now listen carefully. This was no ordinary investigator. This was an individual trained to conceal themselves, to disappear into crowds. But they did not vanish before heaven observed them. They were apprehended near a data trail, a mere hint of truth linked to your destiny. You are being drawn into something far greater. And that private detective, he wasn't just scrutinizing your present. He was attempting to disrupt your future steps. That cannot be allowed. That will not happen. Not if you open your eyes today and claim what was destined to be yours without interference. The one who employed them is not a stranger. They share a history with you. And what they undertook was not merely betrayal, it was a spiritual incursion. But God intervened. Archangel Michael brought it to light. And now, everything that was hidden is coming undone. You are not delusional. You sensed being watched. You felt out of sorts. Your energy has been slightly distorted recently. And that is not paranoia, it was spiritual conflict. But it is heading towards a definitive end, because truth always holds more power than deceit, and light unfailingly exposes every concealed file, every obscured motive. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Now listen carefully. This was no ordinary investigator. This was an individual trained to conceal themselves, to disappear into crowds. But they did not vanish before heaven observed them. They were apprehended near a data trail, a mere hint of truth linked to your destiny. You are being drawn into something far greater. And that private detective, he wasn't just scrutinizing your present, he was attempting to disrupt your future steps. That cannot be allowed. That will not happen. Not if you open your eyes today and claim what was destined to be yours without interference. The one who employed them is not a stranger. They share a history with you. And what they undertook was not merely betrayal. It was a spiritual incursion. But God intervened. Archangel Michael brought it to light. And now, everything that was hidden is coming undone. You are not delusional. You sensed being watched. You felt out of sorts. Your energy has been slightly distorted recently. And that is not paranoia, it was spiritual conflict. But it is heading towards a definitive end because truth always holds more power than deceit, and light unfailingly exposes every concealed file, every obscured motive. Now is not the moment to panic. It is the moment to ascend. You are not solitary. Heaven witnessed their actions, and you are now part of a divine legal matter where the truth can no longer be suppressed. You were chosen not only to endure this experience, but to emerge from it, to guide others through their instances of spiritual espionage and sabotage. Because what has transpired to you has also occurred to others, but they do not have Archangel Michael standing by their side. You do. You always have. If you continue to read this, it signifies that your spirit is alert and your adversaries are uneasy. The investigator presumed they could simply walk away, but they could not evade divine vision. Heaven observes what mortal eyes cannot perceive, and heaven does not permit its chosen to suffer in ignorance. This marks your pivotal turning point. Your awareness will bestow power. Your power will bring clarity. And your clarity will become your divine guidance system. From this very moment onward, you will walk not only protected, but also formidable against darkness, because now you are informed. And knowledge is the ultimate weapon in spiritual warfare. The instant you embraced this message into your heart, the transformation commenced. Heaven recorded it. A precise timestamp was affixed to your life's journey. Your destiny has just experienced an acceleration. And that is not mere poetry, it is prophecy. Those who sought to hinder you underestimated who accompanies you. They underestimated the sensitivity of your spirit. You did not require material evidence. You needed divine confirmation. And this is it. Archangel Michael was commissioned to sound the trumpet over your life tonight. This is not just a cautionary alert, it is a new beginning. A spiritual fire is about to consume everything that was sown around you in obscurity. What if I revealed that a file bearing your name was stored on a hidden server and someone paid a substantial amount to access it? They wished to know who you were conversing with, what your intentions were, which opportunities were about to open for you. But what they failed to grasp is that once heaven designates you, no human system can decipher your journey. That file has been incinerated in the spirit. The access has been revoked. And the man who was foretelling your future without permission is no longer reading anything. He is now being assessed by heaven. You have been absolved in the courts of the unseen realm. That sense of heaviness you've recently felt, that lingering sadness or unexplainable anxiety, was the enemy attempting to impede your intuition. They did not want you to detect the trap being laid. They hoped you would be too occupied, too distracted, too disconnected from your inner passion. But heaven ensured to interrupt you with this moment, because your light is too unique, your calling too distinct, your future too perilous for darkness. And if you comprehended the magnitude of your next opportunity, you would understand why they went to such lengths to investigate you. Because they foresaw what awaits you, and they were terrified. Your path is about to radiate with unexpected distinctness. An opening will soon appear, and you will recall this message as the prophecy that shattered the constraints around your name. Because when a private investigator begins observing someone, it implies they believe that person is on the verge of achieving something significant. But when that person is observed by heaven, the rules completely transform. Every earthly eye that covertly watched your progress is now being blinded by divine light. They desired information, God sent destiny instead. Archangel Michael didn't just utter your name today, he contended for it. He positioned himself between your essence and the image depicted on a sinister report. He severed connections. He thwarted attempts. He dismantled something intended to inflict harm upon you within the next 7 days. But instead of harm, you are about to receive favor. Because heaven invariably transforms what was meant to injure into what becomes your testimony. If you are ready to receive this favor, like the video right now, liking it will activate the flow of God's favor in your life. Your name has now transitioned realms. It is no longer solely yours. It is heaven's evidence. You consider yourself ordinary, but the adversary knows better. That is why they attempted surveillance, not confrontation. That is why they hired observers instead of being audacious, because they knew if they approached you directly, your light would disarm them. So, they operated from behind the scenes. But what they discovered was not vulnerability. It was a warrior spirit enveloped in divine protection. And now that circumstances have reversed, you are about to witness who has truly been watching whom. You are not the target, you are the flame. And a flame cannot be tracked. It must be respected. Do not be surprised if some individuals in your life begin behaving unusually. Those who mentioned your name in private will now experience the repercussions publicly. Divine justice is initially subtle, but then it manifests loudly, and it always arrives precisely on time. Do not retaliate. Do not confront them. Remain calm, because vengeance belongs to God, and what He is orchestrating behind the scenes is far greater than any words you could articulate. The exposure is occurring. The truth is surfacing, and your narrative is being rewritten without the impressions of those who tried to hijack your future. Can you perceive the shivers coursing through your soul right now? That is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit comprehends that this is authentic. This is not dramatic flair, this is divine timing. This is the moment the storm bypassed your dwelling because Archangel Michael was safeguarding the entrance. They could not approach. They could not touch what is sacred. And your future is more sacred than they could ever grasp. That is why this message transcends mere information. It is alignment. You have just entered into divine order. Do not be surprised if some individuals in your life begin behaving unusually. Those who mentioned your name in private will now experience the repercussions publicly. Divine justice is initially subtle, but then it manifests loudly, and it always arrives precisely on time. Do not retaliate. Do not confront them. Remain calm, because vengeance belongs to God, and what He is orchestrating behind the scenes is far greater than any words you could articulate. The exposure is occurring. The truth is surfacing, and your narrative is being rewritten without the impressions of those who tried to hijack your future. Can you perceive the shivers coursing through your soul right now? That is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit comprehends that this is authentic. This is not dramatic flair, this is divine timing. This is the moment the storm bypassed your dwelling because Archangel Michael was safeguarding the entrance. They could not approach. They could not touch what is sacred. And your future is more sacred than they could ever grasp. That is why this message transcends mere information. It is alignment. You have just entered into divine order. I also need you to grasp something else. Your intuition did not fail you. You have felt unsettled recently because the spiritual realm was active, and you were perceiving it without conscious awareness. The subtle suggestions, the gut feelings, the sleepless nights, those were not products of your imagination. That was divine protection striving to keep you from the trap being laid. And now that it is past, you will observe the return of tranquility. The atmosphere is clearer. The burden is lighter. The spiritual cameras that attempted to peer into your soul have been permanently deactivated. They sought information about your finances, your activities, your future plans. But they overlooked one crucial aspect. Heaven's children do not operate purely by logic, they operate by favor. You cannot forecast favor. You cannot monitor miracles. You cannot intercept the progress of someone who moves under divine guidance. You are not to be observed, you are to be admired. And that is what is about to transpire next. You are about to be noticed, but not by hidden observers, by supporters, by angels, by opportunities that acknowledge your value. Do not diminish what has just occurred. A private investigator overstepped a spiritual boundary. And the sole reason you are even hearing about it now is because Archangel Michael insisted heaven release this truth before it became too late. You are safeguarded, but now you are also positioned to reclaim everything that was being covertly stolen, your self-assurance, your voice, your stability, your confidence in your own journey. All of it is now returning with divine recompense. You were never meant to stumble upon this message by chance. It was inscribed into your timeline before the investigator even took his initial step. And now that you have received it, something has been activated in your environment. Things will begin to accelerate. Clarity will now flow in rapidly. Unexplained delays will cease. Confusion will dissipate because the cloud has lifted. The storm has receded, and you are no longer in the shadows of someone else's scrutiny. You are in the direct focus of God's will. You are not just enduring this moment, you are stepping into authority, spiritual authority, divine insight. What was concealed is now apparent. What was taken is now being restored. The private investigator, who attempted to extract fragments of your path inadvertently, activated something far more potent than any earthly strategy. They triggered your awakening. And now that you are awake, there is no turning back. You have experienced the truth. And truth alters everything. It renders you fearless. It makes you perceptive. It makes you unstoppable. The energy surrounding you is transforming as we speak. Can you sense it? Something is unraveling. Something spiritual is being dismantled. The unseen connections that were silently monitoring your life have been severed by the blade of Archangel Michael. He did not simply send this message, he cut through dimensions to ensure it reached you. That is how critical this moment was. That is how imperative it was for you to hear this before nightfall. You are not reading this to simply feel better. You are reading this because the season has shifted, and God does not want you to enter the next phase blindly. Everything they attempted to gather on you, your income, your spiritual sensitivity, your emotional fluctuations, your private prayers, they sought to use those elements against you. But the surveillance ceased when the sacred fire appeared, and now the one who dispatched them is spiritually exposed. They can no longer manipulate from behind the curtain. You do not require vengeance, you simply require obedience. Heaven will handle the rest because your narrative is being divinely edited, and every sentence not authored by God is being removed. You are going to feel more robust in the next 48 hours. Do not be surprised if you feel like weeping without clear reason. That is your spirit releasing tension it wasn't even aware it carried. There is healing within this unveiling. You are not just being safeguarded, you are being spiritually renewed. This moment is heaven demonstrating that you are worth defending. Your path, your purpose, your tranquility. It is all worthy of divine conflict. That is the measure of your calling's value. That is how precious your future is. That is why Archangel Michael remained still for 2 hours, waiting for you to take notice. Some individuals will now disappear. Do not pursue them. They were only in your life to draw near to your light. And now that the light has changed its frequency, they cannot withstand the intensity. Others will make confessions. Permit them. Truth possesses a peculiar way of causing people to expose themselves. You no longer need to implore for honesty. It is forthcoming. Truth is now being drawn towards you. The veil has lifted. The performance is concluded, and those who played roles around you are beginning to forget their lines. Do not be alarmed if plans alter. It is all part of the purification. This exposure was not solely intended to make you aware. It was meant to redirect your entire environment. You were never meant to enter your next season with your eyes closed. Now, your spirit serves as your eyes. You are being guided by illumination, not by distraction, and the path ahead is being cleared by the very angels who protected this message until you opened it. You are not lagging. You are not late. You are precisely on schedule for divine justice. And justice is unfolding now. Some individuals will now disappear. Do not pursue them. They were only in your life to draw near to your light. And now that the light has changed its frequency, they cannot withstand the intensity. Others will make confessions. Permit them. Truth possesses a peculiar way of causing people to expose themselves. You no longer need to implore for honesty. It is forthcoming. Truth is now being drawn towards you. The veil has lifted. The performance is concluded, and those who played roles around you are beginning to forget their lines. Do not be alarmed if plans alter. It is all part of the purification. This exposure was not solely intended to make you aware. It was meant to redirect your entire environment. You were never meant to enter your next season with your eyes closed. Now, your spirit serves as your eyes. You are being guided by illumination, not by distraction, and the path ahead is being cleared by the very angels who protected this message until you opened it. You are not lagging. You are not late. You are precisely on schedule for divine justice, and justice is unfolding now. Even the timing of when you accessed this matters. Heaven waited until your heart could bear the weight of this truth. You were not prepared earlier. You would have questioned yourself. You would have perhaps considered it paranoia. But now you comprehend better. You have matured spiritually. You have grown in your discernment. And now you can perceive that sometimes spiritual conflict manifests as whispers, as hidden cameras, as clicks and hushed inquiries behind closed doors. But now those doors have been forcibly opened by light, and there is no longer any concealment. You may not yet know the exact identity of who hired them, but their name is coming to the surface. You will sense it soon. They will reveal themselves, not because you demanded it, but because the light surrounding you is too potent for darkness to hide within any longer. And when they do not allow your heart to become bitter. Let it become resolute. Resolute enough to detach from manipulation. Resolute enough to sever emotional bonds you never sought. Resolute enough to believe that you are divinely sustained even when humans fail you. There is something else too. Funds that were being withheld. You have been pondering why things have been held up, why breakthroughs appeared so imminent, but always just out of reach. It was not your fault. It was not idleness or poor timing. It was spiritual interference. That investigator was not merely observing. He was intended to report back. And that report was going to be utilized to apply pressure to your finances, your relationships, your progress. But now that the scheme has been broken, prepare yourself. Your prosperity is about to return like a river that was obstructed, but now bursts forth freely. Do not be surprised if unexpected wealth arrives. If someone settles a forgotten debt, if a previously closed opportunity suddenly reopens. This is the cascading effect of divine intervention. When heaven interrupts what was acting against you, the blessings that were being withheld begin to flood in. And you are not meant to question them. You are meant to receive them with happiness, with clarity, with open arms. Because what is coming next will not demand you to struggle. It will demand you to rest in the knowledge that you have already been defended. It is secure now. You are safe now, not just physically, but spiritually. The forces that were operating around your name in obscure places have been brought to their knees. There is no spiritual infiltrator that can touch what is consecrated by fire. And you, precious one, are sealed. You are no longer under scrutiny, you are under liberation. What was investigated is now irrelevant because heaven has ruled in your favor. And the only thing remaining for you to do is move forward. Claim this liberation and divine favor right now. Type Amen in the comments to affirm your readiness to move forward under God's ruling. A new radiance now surrounds your countenance, a distinct luminescence. People will notice it. They will comment that you appear different. It is not your physical appearance, it is your spiritual vibration. You have aligned with divine awareness. And that kind of awakening cannot be reversed. They observed you because they thought they could uncover weakness. but all they discovered was divine resilience. Now they are the ones questioning how the truth escaped their grasp, and you are the one ascending with answers. You have journeyed too far for this message to be just another fleeting whisper in your day. This is the moment heaven marks you once more, not with a warning now, but with anointing oil. A fresh consecration is descending upon your name. And do you know what is remarkable about that? Anointing renders you inviolable. It generates a radiance that the enemy cannot replicate and the past cannot diminish. And now, because you opened your spirit to this truth, that sacred oil is flowing directly from the courts of God through Archangel Michael's command and straight into your next 7 days. Yes, the upcoming 7 days. That is how rapidly the change will manifest. The investigator was operating on a 10-day schedule. He was 3 days away from completing a final report, one that would have been used to sow discord. But God interrupted his plan at the precise moment. And now, what was intended to be used against you is going to be transformed into something for your benefit. Heaven did not just halt the messenger, they reclaimed the message. What they intended for sabotage is going to become your moment in the spotlight, and your name will rise in favor. Do not attempt to comprehend it all through logic. This is supernatural. This is divine technology functioning more swiftly than anything human hands could devise. Archangel Michael intercepted a spiritual broadcast intended to attack your timeline. He blocked a transmission that would have stolen favor from your future. And because you listened, because you opened this when your name was crying out for deliverance, you have become the exception, the interruption, the one whose story will not culminate in loss, but in legend. Let them speak. Let those responsible for it all squirm under the weight of their own exposure. Your role now is not to shrink in shame, but to radiate in the aftermath. Because the fire did not consume you, it purified you. It incinerated every hidden attachment, every unvoiced aggression, every unseen burden that was placed upon your life without consent. You are lighter now, more liberated, stronger, wiser. And that is the part they did not anticipate. They believed the investigation would crush you, but instead it crowned you. Do not attempt to comprehend it all through logic. This is supernatural. This is divine technology functioning more swiftly than anything human hands could devise. Archangel Michael intercepted a spiritual broadcast intended to attack your timeline. He blocked a transmission that would have stolen favor from your future. And because you listened, because you opened this when your name was crying out for deliverance, you have become the exception, the interruption, the one whose story will not culminate in loss, but in legend. Let them speak. Let those responsible for it all squirm under the weight of their own exposure. Your role now is not to shrink in shame, but to radiate in the aftermath, because the fire did not consume you, it purified you. It incinerated every hidden attachment, every unvoiced aggression, every unseen burden that was placed upon your life without consent. You are lighter now, more liberated, stronger, wiser. And that is the part they did not anticipate. They believed the investigation would crush you, but instead, it crowned you. Everything is going to feel different from now on. Your thoughts will become sharper. You will notice what you previously overlooked. You will discern untruths where you once granted the benefit of the doubt. You will perceive manipulation where there was once only perplexity. This is not paranoia, it is divine discernment. Archangel Michael has refined your inner sensitivity. You are no longer here to doubt yourself. You are here to proceed with conviction. The kind of conviction that shatters generational patterns and silences entire spaces simply by your presence. And do not dare to compromise again. Do not lower your energetic frequency to accommodate someone else's comfort. The one who commissioned this investigation sought to control what they did not comprehend. They attempted to observe what they could not possess. But the enigma of your destiny is something they will never be able to calculate, because it is inscribed in heaven, not in mundane files. And now that their attempt has failed, they will try to downplay it. They will pretend it was inconsequential. But you know better. God informed you before it was too late. Do not react emotionally, respond spiritually. Give thanks to God. Give thanks to Archangel Michael. Give thanks to your spirit for being robust enough to hold this profound awareness. You did not collapse. You are not trapped in confusion. You are standing in clarity, and clarity acts as a magnet for miracles. The more pristine your environment becomes, the more rapidly favor finds you. The more conscious you are, the less access confusion has, and the more you walk in truth. The more heaven will entrust you with revelations such as this. Again, you have been elevated. That is what this truly signifies, a divine enhancement. You are not merely someone God safeguarded. You are someone God now trusts with profound insight. You are being empowered with vision, with leadership, with divine foresight. You will begin to dream distinctively. You will awaken with answers. Those around you will marvel at how you knew something before it transpired. But you will simply smile because you will recall this day. The day your perception was opened to the reality of spiritual interference and divine intervention. If you are tempted to investigate, to discover precisely who was behind it, pause. God will reveal what you need to know. But not everything is meant for direct confrontation. Some matters are meant for spiritual consecration. You have been consecrated by this moment, spiritually sealed, emotionally recalibrated. You are not moving forward as a casualty of betrayal. You are moving as an instrument of divine strategy. You are not here to seek retribution. You are here to transcend the battlefield entirely. This provides your closure. This very message, allow it to settle your spirit. Allow it to conclude the emotional turmoil. Allow it to heal the distrust, because heaven is observing you more closely now than ever before. They are aware your heart has been heavy. They know you felt insecure, but that is now over. The breach has been sealed. The interference has ended. And what is coming next is not about recovery, it is about recompense. As you align with this truth, share one word in the comments that describes the powerful shift you feel happening in your spirit right now. Your revelation can inspire another soul. So, what is your next course of action? Nothing ostentatious, simply alignment. Realign your objectives. Examine your connections. Recommit to your sacred purpose. And then observe how the universe begins to rush to your support. The very energy that sought to impede you will now be the impetus that propels you forward. The individuals who misunderstood you will have no option but to witness your radiance. Those who concealed their curiosity will suddenly fall silent, not because you challenged them, but because the divine has muted their influence. You are protected, and now you are also empowered. You know the truth. You have seen behind the veil. You felt the hands attempting to restrain you. And now that they have been severed, there is no limit to your advancement. The constraints are gone. The falsehoods are silenced. The investigation is closed, and your life is about to unfold in ways you could not have conceived before this moment. Take a deep breath now. Feel that. That is the sound of spiritual freedom, You are exactly where you need to be. And the narrative that is about to unfold will feel like justice enveloped in joy, sealed with favor. Heaven is not yet finished, and you are just commencing. You are still present, and that signifies something profound. It means your spirit is not bypassing divine timing. It means you are the type of soul that leans in, not away. And that precisely is why heaven is investing in your narrative. Because those who pause, who listen intently, who feel the significance of a message like this, they are the ones chosen for something rare, something holy, something heaven does not bestow lightly. You were never meant to experience an ordinary existence. You were designed to live in revelation. Let me articulate this clearly. You are not the same person you were before this message began. Your energetic atmosphere has transformed. And whether you perceive it or not, spiritually, your name has just been inscribed into a new chapter. The past few weeks might have felt like conflict disguised as confusion, delays, peculiar conversations, missed opportunities, sudden exhaustion, things that defied explanation. But now you comprehend it was surveillance, an invisible trap. Yet heaven was observing the observer, and the snare set against you became the testimony that now accompanies you. You are exactly where you need to be, and the narrative that is about to unfold will feel like justice enveloped in joy, sealed with favor. Heaven is not yet finished, and you are just commencing. You are still present, and that signifies something profound. It means your spirit is not bypassing divine timing. It means you are the type of soul that leans in, not away. And that precisely is why heaven is investing in your narrative. Because those who pause, who listen intently, who feel the significance of a message like this, they are the ones chosen for something rare, something holy, something heaven does not bestow lightly. You were never meant to experience an ordinary existence. You were designed to live in revelation. Let me articulate this clearly. You are not the same person you were before this message began. Your energetic atmosphere has transformed. And whether you perceive it or not, spiritually, your name has just been inscribed into a new chapter. The past few weeks might have felt like conflict disguised as confusion, delays, peculiar conversations, missed opportunities, sudden exhaustion, things that defied explanation. But now you comprehend it was surveillance, an invisible trap. Yet heaven was observing the observer, and the snare set against you became the testimony that now accompanies you. And the most astonishing aspect, you did not even have to strive for this revelation. God delivered it to you. Archangel Michael stood guard so that the truth could traverse unimpeded, directly to your heart. This is how heaven champions its beloved. Quietly, fiercely, without fanfare. You do not need to shout to be defended. You merely need to be chosen. And chosen you are. That is why the investigator failed. That is why the spiritual assault collapsed, because no one can invade what heaven already possesses. Now, let us delve deeper, because what you are about to receive next is not merely protection, it is prophecy. The data that was compiled about you is now being spiritually reversed. It is being rewritten in the celestial realms. That signifies that individuals who believed they possessed facts about you will be perplexed by your sudden radiance. They will wonder why what they learned about your vulnerabilities no longer corresponds with who you are becoming. And that, beloved one, is because heaven has just encoded your story. The narrative was intercepted and rewritten in light. That illness you nearly experienced, cancelled. That relationship that abruptly dissolved, protected. That hindrance in your business or aspirations, redirected, not denied. that unsettling gut feeling you could not articulate. That was God attempting to inform you this moment was approaching. And now that it is here, your forward path must be undertaken with reverence. Do not rush. Let clarity serve as your guide. Let silence be your response. You owe no explanations to individuals who were covertly working against you. Your sole responsibility now is to honor what heaven has just accomplished for you. Because truth such as this is sacred, and moments like this become spiritual landmarks, altars you will reflect upon years from now and declare, that is when everything irrevocably shifted. You might not even shed tears, but your soul is undoubtedly weeping with gratitude right now. That is why you feel lighter. That is why your chest feels as if something has been extracted. A spiritual monitoring cord was severed, and your energy is no longer draining into places it was not meant to. You have just been made whole in ways you were not even aware you were fractured. And that, my dear friend, is a miracle. A quiet miracle. A pure miracle. And it was custom made just for you. There is one final thing you must grasp. The reason they desired to spy on you was because they sensed you were nearing something explosive, something transformative, a breakthrough, a divine partnership, a financial release, an opportunity bearing your name. They were attempting to ascertain your proximity to it, so they could preempt or obstruct it. But now that they have been exposed, they have lost their advantage. The very thing they attempted to observe without your consent is now going to manifest publicly. God will ensure this. So, do not dim your light. Do not obscure your progress. Do not apologize for moving swiftly now. You are not operating from ego. You are operating in alignment. You are not attempting to impress anyone. You are obeying divine momentum. And the more you obey, the more opportunities will open without you even needing to knock. You have entered a phase where access will find you, where divine timing will meet you at every turn, and where the favor being lavished upon you will confound those who thought they understood your limitations. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be protected by a select few and celebrated by heaven. And now that heaven has spoken over you, no earthly report can override it. You are liberated, you are clear, you are ascending. Now listen intently. Within the next 24 to 72 hours, you will receive confirmation of this message. It may not arrive with great spectacle. It might not be overtly loud, but it will be undeniable. A person may suddenly reach out and offer an apology. A peculiar opportunity may present itself to you. A long, closed door will slightly open. A name may appear in a dream or a passing conversation. Pay close attention. These are heaven's indications. Record them. Document them. Because when this entire situation fully unfolds, and it absolutely will, you are going to possess proof that you were never irrational. You were always safeguarded. Now proceed with the fervor of someone whose name has just been cleared in the spiritual courts. Do not plead for recognition, seize it. Do not await permission, act with divine authority. You are no longer under covert assault. You are under abundant favor. And the individual who dispatched the investigator, they have just become the evidence that no scheme against you shall prevail. You are chosen. You are called, you are covered, and this was your moment of awakening. And now we reach the sacred culmination, the sealing of this divine revelation. Breathe deeply, because what is forthcoming is not merely a blessing, it is a profound release. You are poised at the threshold of a moment that will resonate throughout your entire future. The heavens are observing you. Archangel Michael has not departed from your side. His sword remains drawn. And God, God is smiling over you like a parent who just shielded their child from an unseen peril. This was more significant than you understood. But now that you perceive it, you are prepared for what comes next. Record them. Document them. Because when this entire situation fully unfolds, and it absolutely will, you are going to possess proof that you were never irrational. You were always safeguarded. Now proceed with the fervor of someone whose name has just been cleared in the spiritual courts. Do not plead for recognition. Seize it. Do not await permission. Act with divine authority. You are no longer under covert assault. You are under abundant favor, and the individual who dispatched the investigator. They have just become the evidence that no scheme against you shall prevail. You are chosen. You are called. You are covered, and this was your moment of awakening. And now we reach the sacred culmination, the sealing of this divine revelation. Breathe deeply, because what is forthcoming is not merely a blessing, it is a profound release. You are poised at the threshold of a moment that will resonate throughout your entire future. The heavens are observing you. Archangel Michael has not departed from your side. His sword remains drawn, and God is smiling over you like a parent who just shielded their child from an unseen peril. This was more significant than you understood. But now that you perceive it, you are prepared for what comes next. Allow this truth to firmly embed itself in your soul. The conflict is concluded. The spiritual surveillance has ceased. The file is closed. Your name is being redefined, not as the observed, but as the triumphant overcomer. You did not yield. You did not collapse. You were preserved in silence, forged under pressure, and now you are ascending in fire. You are transforming into someone who does not merely endure darkness. You shine through it like a living prophecy. And now, every step you take from this moment onward will carry immense significance, divine weight, an unshakable presence. Do not be astonished if you suddenly carry yourself differently, if you articulate with greater clarity, if people pause and gaze at you without knowing why. You have shifted environments. The former version of you, the one they attempted to track, monitor, manipulate, no longer exists. That persona dissolved when you embraced truth. When you opened this message, when you permitted heaven to touch the parts of your soul you weren't even aware were in jeopardy. That is the resurrecting power of divine interception. You are emerging from this moment with renewed breath in your lungs and a determined fire in your eyes. And you must safeguard it. This level of clarity cannot be treated lightly. Protect your peace like a royal crown. Establish boundaries like a guardian of precious gold. Decline anything that disrupts your alignment. Affirm only what corresponds with your healing. Because now you are not merely recovering from an act of betrayal. You are radiant in the aftermath of your deliverance. And this radiance is not something you need to promote. It will be perceived. It will be felt. It will introduce you even before you utter a word. Someone is going to re-enter your life soon. But do not be misled by appearances. Look for underlying patterns. Do not seek revenge, seek wisdom, because heaven has bestowed insight upon you, and now you must wield it prudently. The individual who dispatched the investigator is still processing their miscalculation, and when they grasp that the divine reversed the situation, they will either become silent or attempt to re-engage with your life using charm. Do not entertain confusion. Entertain purpose. Because your purpose is what heaven just protected, and that signifies it is grander than you ever imagined. A season is approaching where your personal story will be utilized to liberate others from their chains. This message you hold within your heart will resonate through future conversations, through prayers you have yet to voice, through individuals you have yet to encounter. You have just become a conduit of revelation, a tangible, living testament that divine protection is real, that spiritual warfare is not mythical, that God still communicates, that angels still contend, that Archangel Michael still acts when your name is under assault. If you have received this word and believe it can empower others, sharing this prophetic word will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with your network. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. And now, the blessing. At this very moment, I pronounce a spiritual blessing over your life. May the clarity you have gained be everlasting. May the protection over your household be impregnable. May your energy remain pure, your connections stay undefiled, and your forward momentum never again be interrupted. I pray your next 7 days are replete with astonishing confirmations, unforeseen financial gain, divine connections, and insights that bring you peace. I pray the individual who attempted to exploit your life as a pawn be permanently removed from your journey. And I pray that everything you engage with from this point onward carries the vibration of this breakthrough moment, of safety, of ascension. May Archangel Michael stand guard at your door every evening and by your side every day. May no whisper of harm ever reach your essence. May you enter spaces that once rejected you and shine with a light they can no longer deny. May your soul be surrounded by honor. May your physical being be filled with peace. May your mind remain sharp, focused, and spiritually attuned. You are no longer an observer of miracles, you embody one. You are no longer in a state of anticipation. You are actively moving forward, courageously, confidently, completely shielded. Now, live accordingly. You have been marked by heaven. Guard this well. Articulate it when prompted, and never forget. The dossier they tried to compile on you has been annihilated. But the testimony you are now building, it is eternal. And this divine moment will reside within you indefinitely. It is complete. If something in your spirit resonated while absorbing this, if the shivers, the newfound clarity, the truth felt too perfectly timed to be continued further, then this message was heaven's direct communication to your soul. You are meant not to miss this powerful movement, and you are meant not to miss what is coming next. Archangel Michael and the angels are still communicating, still fighting for you, still sending revelations that possess the power to alter the course of your entire existence. Do not allow this to be the final divine message you encounter. Subscribe now, and by doing so, you will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, remaining aligned with every urgent spiritual download intended for your protection, your clear understanding, and your miraculous breakthrough. What is coming next is sacred, and it is exclusively for those who are tuned in. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings. They will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.